Hi everybody, welcome back. My name is Abby with Fitness is Medicine. Today I'm going to show you a workout that we're going to do primarily on the floor with one tool, a set of dumbbells. So we're going to use body weight and one set of dumbbells and that's it. So we're going to be back and forth between our chest and our back on the floor. And then for the final two, we're going to stand up and I'm going to show you how to do that. So make sure you start with a good warm-up. Make sure you do 5 to 10 minutes before you come into this exercise video. I want you to, go up and down your stairs or go out for a walk, maybe ride your bike, things like that. Get your muscles prepared for exercise. Get your heart rate up a little bit. So we're going to start on the floor with a set of dumbbells, probably a lighter set. We're going to do a chest fly. So if you typically do maybe 8 pounds for a chest press, grab a 5 pound. Or if you do 5 pounds for a chest press, grab a 3 pound. If you don't have any weights in your home, grab a couple water bottles. Or something similar that has just a little bit of a weight to it. You can even use soup cans and we'll get started. So we're going to lie down on our back. I've got my weights handy right here. And I want you to press your back to the floor, which I talk about a lot. Bend your knees, press your back to the floor to engage those abs. We're going to do a chest fly. So you want your arms, your weights out to the side like this. And first we're going to start just pulling it up to the sides like this, up to the top. Let it go all the way back out and up to the top. So you're keeping your shoulders down away from your ears. Breathing out each time you go. If you find that you grabbed a set of weights that is too much, stop now, go grab a lighter set, or like I said, soup cans, or even just range of motion to begin with, if that feels okay. The other thing you can do is if you don't have a lighter set, or if you're kind of in between, use the lighter set and do them slower or maybe a few more. If you have to use a heavier set, bend your elbows just a little. You can keep your elbows bent like this and not let them go all the way out flat to the floor. That'll be easier on your shoulders and your elbows if you do have any pain here. Okay, if you're ready and you want to try the full range of motion, start with them out to your sides, pull up to the top, and back down. Okay, now if these feel okay, you're pressing your back to the floor, everything feels good, let's try these in a bridge. So press your back to the floor so you get that posterior pelvic tilt before you go up, pressing through your heels here, squeezing your glutes, and we're going to do this at the same time. So just holding that bridge. We're going to do 10 of these. If that feels like too much, just do them with your back flat to the floor. You don't have to do the bridge. It's a little bit of a compound movement involving your lower extremity, your abdominals, your upper extremity here, getting more muscles involved in this movement. 9, 10. Okay, good. Now we're going to flip over onto your hands and knees. So put those weights off to the side safely. Flip over onto your hands and knees. We're going to do bird dog. So first of all, you're going to reach one hand forward and then the opposite. Okay, so when you reach one hand forward, reach your opposite leg back to the back. So you want a nice flat back here, head in line with your spine. I don't want you looking up like this. It's hard on that neck. So head in line with your spine here, all of your spine in line. Hands directly below your shoulders. Reach one arm out and the opposite leg back. I want you to try to hold it for about 5 seconds, nice flat back, and then switch. Slowly transitioning. If you find yourself wobbling a little here, that's okay. This is a really great posterior chain exercise that involves all the way from your shoulder, all the way down your back, your glutes, your hamstrings, your gastrocs a little bit, all the way down. Just that static hold. This is an isometric exercise, holding those muscles. Now, if you really are truly having trouble balancing, or if you have any pain with this, first of all, if you have shoulder pain with this, you can just reach out like this. You can continue to pull that back leg up. You just want it in a straight line. You don't need it up here. Nice straight line from your back. And you can just put your hand out like this if that's too much for your shoulder. Conversely, if this hurts your low back, You can bring this up just a little bit here. You don't have to bring it all the way up in line. You can just kind of shorten the levers. The other way you can do it is pulling your leg back and just lifting up one hand here. So instead of reaching, you could just lift it up here, keeping that lever shorter and protecting that shoulder if you're having any trouble with that. I want you to continue to breathe. We're going to try 10 on each side. If that is too much, stop at 5, and you can wait for us to finish. Today I'm going to do these through all once, similarly to other days where I do them all through once. After one time through, you can pause it, do 5 minutes of cardio, do them again, do 5 minutes of cardio, do them again, or just repeat them one after another and follow with a good cool down and stretch at the end. Okay, really keeping that back strong as you get further into this set and those muscles are getting tired, your glutes and all of these back, your paraspinals, all of these muscles are really engaged. If you reach back there, you'll be able to feel it. Might be getting a little tired here. Remember, you can lower that range of motion if you need to, but don't make it higher. Don't make it higher than the height of your back here. So I don't need you reaching up here or back here because that's going to put your back into some spinal flexion or some spinal extension that we don't want. All right, we're going to do one more on each side. And last one, still breathing. All right, so if you're feeling it in your back at all, you can just sit back and sit in child's pose, really stretch out that your back and your shoulders. Be mindful of that in your final stretch at the end. Okay, now we're going to flip over onto your back again. And again, pressing your back into the floor. You're going to hear me say that a lot over all of my videos, but it's really important to keep your back in proper alignment and to protect that back, engage that core properly before we go into the exercise. So we're going to start with alternate heel touches. So you want to start, remember, posterior pelvic tilt a little bit, flatten your back, bring your feet up like this, your hands beside your hip for support, and you're going to let one heel drop, bring it back up, let the other heel drop. So notice that I'm keeping my knees bent so that I can maintain my flat back to the floor here. This is a core exercise. So while you're having to hold this leg here, you're also having to coordinate and drop that leg slowly. Now, if you have any back pain with this, bend your knees a little more and make that a smaller range of motion, a shorter lever. But if you're able to, just kind of a slight bend in your knee, slowly alternating those heel touches to the floor. And just a light touch, just so that you know you're there, maintaining your flat back to the floor. Keep breathing. When you're doing core exercises, it can be really hard to maintain your breathing, so you can breathe out as you lower that leg, breathe in, breathe out as you lower that leg, really maintaining. If you start to feel your back start to arch, you can stop, bend your knees, really focus on that posterior pelvic tilt, flatten your back, go back into it. So you can stop at any point and reposition. And if you're having back pain, remember, make that lever shorter, make those knees more bent. If you still can't do this, send me a message and I will help you find another way to do your back, or a way to do some core exercises that don't start to bother your low back if you do have low back pain. So our goal here is to do about 10 on each side. I kind of lost track with all of my variations, but I'm going to do one more on each side, keeping my back flat. Okay, then slowly lower your feet down. Okay, very good. Now we're going to stay on your back, and we're going to grab one of those weights that you use. If you do have a little bit heavier weight that you would like to try, we're going to do a triceps extension in this position. So flattening your back, like I always say. You're going to start with this weight. You're just going to use one weight. If you do have lighter weights, you can also use two. You can do it like this. Just keeping your hands together and your elbows in. But I'd rather do one weight. It's easier to control. And so if you want to grab just a little bit heavier weight here, that's okay. But try what you have that you've gotten out for those chest flies. And I want you to start with your hands straight over your head. You're just going to bend your elbows. Slowly lower that weight down close to your forehead and then back up. Slow here so you don't hit your forehead. Nice and slow. You've got a good grip on those weights on the side, so I'm holding it on the ends of the dumbbells, the barbells, the bells of the bar. Good grip on it. And if you start to do this and the lighter weights that you need for the chest flies might not be enough for this one, but if you're keeping your elbows in, I don't want your elbows out here. Your elbows should be straight up and down, keeping your shoulders away from your ears. Slowly lower that weight down to your forehead and back up. You're just bending your elbows. I don't want it here because then we're doing some lats, which is fine, but I really want to isolate your triceps here. So when you go up, it's these triceps here that are really engaging to straighten that arm. And they're just really isolated here in this position by keeping your upper arms where perpendicular to the floor. So you're lowering your forearms down towards your head. Maintaining proper wrist strength. Make sure you keep breathing. If you are using a little bit lighter weight, and you don't feel comfortable going up in weight, sometimes if we try going up in weight like this, people don't feel comfortable hanging on to it. They think they're going to drop it, and I'd rather have you do a lighter weight. Just do a few more. Do them a little bit more slowly, and do a few more. And then you really should start feeling it in those triceps, in the backs of your arms here, right in here. Okay? All right. Now, we're going to transition to standing. So we've done all of these on the floor so far. And I'm going to stay on the floor. I'm just moving my camera. So get over on your hands and knees. This can be hard for some people, which is why I've been doing these flipping back and forth. You're on your hands and knees, you're on your back. Flipping over from your back to your hands and knees can be difficult for some people, but that's why I want to incorporate these. When you get on your hands and knees, we're going to do a floor to stand. And I want to do at least 5 on each side here. So even if this is easy for you to stand up from the floor, it's a great full body exercise. If it's hard for you, I want you to incorporate these techniques to be able to do so safely. So starting on your hands and knees, I want you to bring one foot up. And when you bring one foot up, think about doing it explosively. So instead of pulling it up slowly and dragging your toes, sometimes people can kind of get stuck here and you can't quite bring. You want to bring that up quickly. So bring one leg up beside your hand, or as close to your hand as you can get. Put that same hand on your knee. Pull your whole body up over your hips. You want to stack your shoulders over your hips. Put both hands on this knee and then stand up. Okay, let's do it again. So back down to your hands and knees. I have a lot of people who, when they start to do this, they kind of get here and then they come here, but they can't, you can't get your weight back. So if you're here, use this hand to pull your knee forward. So you're here, you push yourself back up, stack your shoulders over your hips. Lots of people will be here and then they want to stand up. And that's okay if that's how you get up and you can do it safely. I just want you to try to go up, not forward. So if you're here and you try to stand up from here, my weight is going forward. So you're going to be here. And then you could fall again. So I don't want to put you at a disadvantage. You want to think about stacking your weight, stacking your shoulders over your hips, going up not forward. Okay, so let's do this again. Foot up, hand on your knee, come up over your hips, other hand, stand up. All right, that's 2. We're gonna do 5 on each side. I'm gonna make sure. Hand. So what I cue my clients to do is foot, hand, up, then other hand, and then up. So foot, hand, up, foot, hand, up, other hand, up. And we're going straight up. I'm going to move my camera just a little bit so that the most important work is done down here, which I want you to see. One more on this side. Foot, hand, up. The other thing is you kind of want to curl this toe under. So if you're here, it's going to be hard to stand up. You want that toe curled under when you go to stand up. Okay, let's work on the other side. A lot of people have one side that they always use and they always stand up on that side. So that's probably the side you just did. Switch to that other side. So foot, hand, up. And you could even just say foot, hand, up each time. So then curl your toe, foot, hand, up. Okay, let's do 4 more on this side. Foot, hand, up, foot, hand, up. Okay. Remember, if you have trouble with this, the other thing you can do is crawl over somewhere, like a coffee table or a sturdy kitchen chair, something that won't move if you need help standing up like this. That's okay. I'd rather have you use something sturdy to get up off the floor than be stuck in the middle of the floor and you just can't get up without falling again. All right, so let's do 3 more on this side. Foot, hand, up, foot, hand, up. This is a great full body exercise. Even if you're really good at it, it's a great full body exercise. So follow along, even if you're really good at this. You don't want to lose this skill. Foot, hand, up, foot, hand, up. So remember, if you get to this point and you can't get that foot further forward, use your hand here to pull your knee. So you want this good flat surface instead of being here where your weight is going to go forward when you stand up. Here, hand, up, foot, hand, up. Let's do 2 more. Foot, hand, up, foot, hand, up. The important thing of stacking your shoulders over your hips keeps you from falling. Good flat surface here. We don't want to be here. It's harder to balance when you're going to go stand up. This is the last one, so let's do it perfectly. Foot, hand, up, foot, hand, up. Okay, now that we're standing, we're going to do one more balance exercise, or one more exercise. It's going to be balance. If you stand up and you're lightheaded, wait a minute before you do this balance exercise. Stand next to something, get your bearings before we start trying to do balance. So we're going to do a single leg stance, airplane hold. So I just want you to tip at the hips, keep this hip nice and strong. I don't want you coming out to the side like this. We're going to keep this hip nice and strong, tip at the hips, and hold. So holding your arms out to the side, keeping your head in line with your spine, trying to keep your back foot in line with your torso. So instead of being here, you want that back foot, your back leg, in line with that torso. Keeping your posture nice and tall, holding that. We're gonna hold this for about 30 seconds. If this feels easy to you, try standing on a pillow. Try moving your arms back and forth. Try, you can kind of go like this, and that's going to throw your balance. If you're moving your arms like this, that will throw your balance. So if this feels easy, try adding those things. If not, if this is really difficult, do this maybe at the kitchen counter or something, where when you tip forward, or maybe next to something like this, so that when you tip forward, you've got something to grab if you are going to lose your balance. Challenge yourself. I want you to challenge yourself, even if you can't hold it for 30 seconds, work on it for 30 seconds. Okay, I know that was 30. Now we're gonna do your other foot. So good posture. All you're doing is hinging at the hips, so leaning forward. If you can, try to come into this nice flat back with your legs straight back, trying to keep that all in line up here. Really working those hips here. Your feet are working, your ankles are working all the way up your leg. Your core is working to hold you in this position. Keep breathing. If this is too much, just tip here. You can just tip here. Standing on one foot is hard, and it's sometimes more difficult than others, but when you're walking, you spend time on one foot. We need that balance. We need that fall prevention. We need that good core strength, good lower extremity strength. Hold it anywhere along this continuum. If you're here and this is hard, work on that for 30 seconds. If you can, just keep working your way down. And then again, if this is too easy, stand on a pillow, move your arms. There's lots of ways to make it easier and more difficult, but challenge yourself along this continuum, wherever is good for you, challenging, but safe and not painful. Okay, go ahead and go through those one more time and then follow through for the third time. So, like I always say, the second time, they're going to feel a little bit easier. Your muscles are warmed up. They know what to expect. The third time, you're really building that strength. So enjoy. Have a great weekend, everybody, and keep moving. Thanks, everybody.